Hi, I'm Suki.
And I'm Claire.
Welcome to Getting Psychic, where you can listen to us use ourselves to test the theory that anyone can get psychic. Hi, Claire. How's it going?
Hi, Suki. How are you?
I'm fine. It seems like a little bit manufactured to be saying hello like this because I was just at your house cutting your bangs.
I know. I really appreciate it. They're way better.
You know what I appreciate?
Tell me.
This espresso pod that I took from your counter.
Good shit.
Yeah, I've been off of coffee for weeks because I can't be trusted with my Nespresso machine.
Mm.
But if I just borrow one pod from you, I think that I won't slip back into my addiction.
How many were you having?
I was having three. I was having a double shot latte in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I would have one with one. And it was actually messing up my body. I started having like acid stomach stuff that I've never had before in my life. And I was like, just chill out.
That's bad.
And I switched to matcha with cacao. Cacao.
Cacao. Um, I was trying to find cacao, which I did, but so many searches just came up with cocoa.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I have not done a cacao ceremony. You have, yeah.
Yeah, I have. It was
What
weird.
what was that like?
Well, it was really beautiful, although this was in Costa Rica and I had just sprained my ankle that day after visiting a cacao farm. And they did this amazing circle dance that everyone but me participated in.
It's super heart opening, right?
Yeah, I'm just going to go with that.
Uh-huh.
But I like it. I like it as a replacement for
Coffee.
coffee because it's super bitter and
Mm.
it can comfortably feel like, and I'm not like super into chocolate these days, but it doesn't it doesn't come off like you're drinking chocolate. That's cool.
It's not like cocoa.
No, it's cacao.
Cacao. Um, I have been so busy with the camera, and I thought that I was about to be less busy, but I'm wrong. Um,
What do you mean you thought you were about to be less busy?
well, I was like, oh, we hardly have any events in October, and
Yeah.
then we just got booked for a bunch of events, which is
Oh boy.
great. Yeah. So both October and November are going to be actually very busy.
That's crazy. How do you find time to do energy work when
I
you're just
just have
chasing this
to
camera around?
let my house be messy.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. Yes, you have to just right, 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 right. Yes, you have to prioritize because like there's only so much you can do.
Word. Yeah. I
Got it.
mean, luckily I can do a lot from home, so um, it makes it a bit easier. But I was while I was in Seattle with the camera, which we're going back to Seattle at the beginning of December, which I'm excited about. I really enjoyed that.
Okay. Oh yeah,
But
I'm
anyway,
gonna make you do a list of where you're gonna be so these psychics can meet you.
yeah. So, um, so I was thinking about how like insanely productive you are with your days. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you have a family, you have two careers. You're working on a new product. You also taught yourself how to edit podcasts. I mean, like, we're recording this. Like,
Yeah,
you are constantly absorbing. And I understand that you are a quadruple Virgo, and that
I am.
really, well, I don't know if it's actually quadruple, but I think
Okay, I was like, that's a lot of,
you have three, right?
I
I
don't
think
know. But anyway,
you have,
keep going.
yeah, you have three or four in Virgo.
A lot.
Hmm. But it was one of those things where I was talking to Eric about it, and just how I'm constantly impressed, and then was like, I can figure out how to do more then.
Okay.
I have a routine
Hmm.
that allows for me to be slow, and I mean, I have to be slow in certain regards, but
Yeah.
what I don't tend to do, like, I have days where I have clients, but I just willy-nilly answer emails or DMs for the camera. Like, the computer and internet work, besides seeing clients, doesn't have scheduled time. And because of that, it means it's constantly sort of happening.
Totally.
And that sucks. And
Yep.
so I decided I have to schedule that time for myself.
Yeah, that's super smart.
It's construction.
Whatever. We'll just roll with it. If you hear any
Okay.
weird noises, just we live in the
Yeah.
city. We live in the city,
Live in the
kids.
city. So I'm trying to figure that out, because I also just started, as part of my I am I am healing myself situation. I
Yeah.
have also I have um a personal trainer online.
Love it. Love
Yes.
it.
And she works a lot with people that are injured or disabled, and it's all based on, bodybuilding, basically. But, for
That's
me, that means
that's the
very
jam.
small, yep, very small movements. But so, it's like, doing all the meditation part of it is one thing,
Yeah.
but I have to actually work my body also. It's like,
Yeah.
even if the, if, for instance, the everything in my body all of a sudden woke up and was, re-energized, I would still have very weak muscles because they
Right.
haven't been used. So,
Right. Because unfortunately, it's not completely energy body.
right. I mean, I have
You gotta
a physical body.
you gotta
And
drag your muscles around.
yeah, exactly. And so that's a part of it. I'm into it. I like it.
Okay, can we? I want to tease this out a little bit more
Yeah.
because we touched on a lot of interesting stuff to me. One, I what was my thought when you said, like I see everything that you do, and I don't know if it was like fully formed, like what your response to it was. I think it was kind of like I could be able to do more or whatever.
Hmm.
But, you know, also the sort of acknowledging that like that shouldn't that doesn't need to be everyone's goal. Like we're not here to do stuff. I think we're
No.
here to learn,
Hmm.
but I would never want anyone to kind of like observe the way that I for some reason am living my life in this stage and hold that up as something to aspire to
I mean,
because
yeah, go ahead, finish your thought.
Your thought was like, "No, I trust me, I don't want that."
Word. I mean, like, what I was about to say, though, is I became aware of how much time I waste.
Yeah, okay.
By
And
not
then
organizing my time, I waste a
yeah,
ton of it.
yeah. And I keep having this thought when this subject comes up
And time's not even
because
real.
exactly. Ding, 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 ding. No, but I keep having this thought that's like that goes through my head. It's the more you do, the more you do. And that rings so true to me. And I think it works both ways. But it's like, and it is completely about just, we don't believe this is real, but like the organization of time. Um, like I don't like if I have a list of things to do, I know that on any given day there's so many cool or interesting things going on that like I do it. Like I can't be like I don't put things off because of it. So in that sense, the more you do, the more you do. And but it does lead me to like the compartmentalization of time. Like your example of dealing with your emails and your DMs throughout your entire week is perfect example of letting something be amorphous and taking up more of your life than it needs to.
Def-
When if you put the word out in your newsletter or anywhere, like I can show you how to set up an automatic. You probably already have this, like an automatic reply in your DMs. She's
I
shaking her head
don't.
no.
I don't have an automatic reply in my emails or my DM. And that was something that I'm
Friggin'
like,
let's do it.
yeah.
Your outgoing message can say, "Thanks for reaching out. I reply on Mondays and Fridays."
Hmm.
Easy, you know?
Yep.
And you can just like set that space for yourself.
That's
But
awesome.
also like I kind of also always want to talk about the beauty of tearing that all to shreds. Like once you do have a structure and you have like your business in flow and you feel like, you know, there's space for everything that you want in your life, just like tearing that all up and the beauty of being like, this day is going to be spent in the bathtub. Like
Yeah.
as small business owners and people that work our butts off, like that is the that's the prize.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
not that specific thing, but like the ability to be like, you know what? Today's for nothing and that's beautiful.
I agree. I actually, because I travel so much and traveling is so intense on all of our bodies, but mine has a special little love for it. Um,
Yeah.
I often have to take, when we get back the next day, I just have to take off.
I don't know why I'm in this spot in my life right now. I almost dropped out of beauty school. So this was not my, this is a place in my story arc. This is
Hmm.
not my like this hasn't been my whole story. Like
No, I
um
know. I think it's
I
wild
was
that we are both at this place where just, I feel like historically, in history, women at this point in our lives, mid, maybe 40s,
what did you just
um,
whisper?
maybe late 40s. I'm in my late 40s. I'm in my late 40s. Um,
Who fucking cares?
no one. Um, but you know, it was like it was like almost like a wind down time, and I'm like, you and I are just like winding up. It's
Yeah.
like No, no, let's go make it bigger and better and connect in more. And we still have so much of our lives
Yeah.
to engage in. And the whole idea of the job that we started, you know, when we went to either beauty school or acupuncture school, that was a long time ago. And that it's like, and then it doesn't change. It's like, that is crazy. We are adding on so much. And it's awesome and I love it. And it's just like this whole new awesome adventure.
Yeah. I'm actually having the time of my life.
Totally. It's
It's
so
really
weird.
funny. I know. It's very fun.
Hmm.
Um, Wait, what did that make me think of? Oh, okay. So my mom once told me this thing when I was right, maybe in my 20s. And that's a time in your life when aging is such a distant um potential
Hmm.
that it doesn't really factor in. Like I felt very much untouchable by age not that long ago, right?
Yeah.
So she says, "Oh yeah, it's really crazy because who you are doesn't change. You stay the same person that you always were. Maybe like, you stay the same person as you are when you're like 25. Your body just changes around you." And I was like,
That sucks. Yeah, it's true.
oh. Like something about her putting it that way just got me. And I was like, holy shit. Because I do remember being quite young and thinking, when I'm that person, or that kind of mentality that you're remotely anything but just the same exact person. It's like the diving bell and the butterfly,
Hmm.
where the guy
Hmm.
gets like locked in syndrome,
Hmm.
and his brain is like completely capable and amazing. And it's like, I mean, I can communicate, but it's like, yeah, you're just the same person and
Hmm.
your body's different.
Hmm. Yeah. But I actually, I think we change. I mean, I think at the core of who we are, we're the same, but we deal with things totally differently from when you're 25 to 45.
No, no. I mean, it's true, but you're still looking out at the world essentially through the same eyes. Of course,
Yeah.
you evolve and grow through your trials, but um, it still is a trip to be like, you should just to like a 19-year-old be like, you should just try on this 44-year-old suit.
Oh my
That's
God, that would
essentially
be
exactly what it's
so,
like.
that would be so upsetting. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
but I mean,
Truly.
it is funny because like I just turned 44 and I don't think I could possibly like I really like myself. I love myself.
Hmm.
And I don't think I could have. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking back then, but I definitely don't think I was like, I love you.
No, no, but I sure hoped everyone else loved me.
Oh yeah, that's the problem.
Hmm. I'm like, well, if they
That's
all love
hard.
me, I don't really have to love me. It's like,
So
you're
sad.
wrong. I know.
I know
Now
that
I
shit's
couldn't
real.
give a
I mean,
shit.
that's yeah, right. That stuff still creeps in. Okay, can
It
I
does.
talk a little psychic-y stuff?
Yeah, we should be doing that. Yes.
Oh yeah, back to that.
All back to
Uh,
that.
oh wait, what's this podcast called?
Hmm.
Oh,
Lovingyourself.com.
it's called
No.
Getting Psychic. On minute 27, they start talking remotely about psychic shit.
Hmm.
Um, Listen, we record weekly. What do you expect? Okay, so this is cool. I don't even know if I told you about this. So this is weirdly like after our conversation. that one episode the episode before last, I think episode 13, which was total shit. Um, in that episode, one thing that I did like was that you were talking about, we were talking about Kundalini rising and we were talking about mudras and how you like spontaneously did them. So I realized that, like, often in meditation, even though I lay down physically and like put a bunch of stuff over, like I put a pillow on my head, or, you know, another thing that I like to do if I'm outside is like put a baseball cap on my head backwards and put my nose through the hole in the back of it and breathe out of it, like cover up my
Hmm.
eyes, but have a breathing hole. Anyway, so I realized that in a lot of meditations, when I'm seeing my body and my energy body, I'm sitting cross legged and I'm doing this one particular mudra
Hmm.
with my thumb touching my middle finger.
Hmm.
And so I was like, well, oh yeah, I do this. Claire mentioned mudras. Like, I'm gonna actually listen to clearly what I'm being shown and do it. So I sat up and I did it. And then my whole meditation was about, it was this weird ass meditation where I was mirroring my energy body, cross legged, facing myself, and sending a, I'll say, beam of energy light into my throat chakra, my thyroid. And I was going cell by cell, creating like a healing, like, I don't know, I'll just say marble. Like, this is what it looked like. I was putting a, like a healing ball of blue light around each individual cell. I was like just going through it and going through it and going through it. And I was like, and that was all that happened in that meditation. And I was like, that was a weird one. And so naturally, I Google what that mudra is, and it totally had to do with healing thyroid.
What?
How fucking crazy is that?
It has to do with the fifth chakra.
Okay, I need to look it up because I know that I sent my sister like a screenshot of it. So here's what I found. Uh, the Shunya Mudra is believed to reduce the space element in our body. Shunya Mudra may reduce hearing loss, improve balance, and manage dizziness. It may also be beneficial for thyroid disorders and might play a role in reducing tinnitus. That is the one thing, the first and only thing that I read when I looked for what that mudra is. What do you think about that, Claire?
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when you looked up what me doing number three is,
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
it's basically bringing in into the body
yeah.
or
But I
calling
felt
in
like I've
and
been
that's
slacking on
amazing.
talking about magical shit. So there you have it. Try out some mudras. See what your guides want you to
Totally.
do.
Yeah.
Doodras.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
What do you
Um,
got?
I was, well, similarly, yet different. I was on an airplane coming home, and the book that I'm reading hadn't fully downloaded on my tablet. And so I got to a certain page and then I was like, no. So I'm like, well,
Oh, bummer.
yeah, was. Um, so that was a drag. And so I was like, okay, meditate. Um, and so I don't know, I just sort of whooshed in and
Hmm.
was, kind of talking to all of my cells and just allowing things to, I don't even remember most of it. It was just happening. Felt lovely. And then, so I draw the source point diamond around parts of my body or myself all the time, like in my mind's
Yeah.
eye. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna put it around every single cell. And I started doing it, and then it just went, and it, like, they were just all of a sudden, it was surrounding every single cell, and it just did this crazy thing inside of me. And then, of course, when we have those experiences, we're like, wow, and then we snap right out of it. So that happened. But it was really
Yeah.
cool. And then, so I have been reading a Joe Dispenza book. Um,
Joe.
Joe, um, Joey. Um, which one is it?
Joe knows.
Joe knows. Oh, I think it's called You Are the Placebo.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So the in the preface he talks about his accident that he had, um, where hit by he's he's hit by a car while riding his bike in a race in
Hmm.
Palm Springs, funny enough. And
Of all places.
of all places. Um, and I mean, he just like fucking breaks his back, and
Yeah.
it it's bad, and he's supposed to have, the doctors are like, you have to have surgery, and this is only something that someone in their 20s, I feel like, would do. He said no. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure I can heal this. No, I'm gonna
So
figure something else out.
that is so interesting to me. So he went into that with this mentality. He
Yeah,
went into that having some understanding of
yes.
the
I
power
mean,
of thought,
he was a chiropractor, and I think
which
had
usually to me like is not
right,
reassuring.
doesn't necessarily. um, we're yeah, understood. But so he was bedbound in I guess in a cast of some kind, braces, cast. Like he had
Hmm.
broken, crushed vertebrae. And
Hmm.
so for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night, he meditated on his body and put it back together. And I think you had told me about this, and so I I got the book because I was like, well, I want to understand how, like what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
And it was truly all about the manifestation of it. Like he pictured his body in perfect health and what future looks like without any fear coming in, but just with what he wants it to actually be. So
Yeah.
manifestation. Um, and it and in 4 months he got up and walked around, and he has never had any back issues again, which is wild and amazing.
No
So
surgeries.
no surgeries, no surgeries. And
Fuck.
I know. And so what this book is about is that, but also like the whole idea, when they do like drug testing or whatever, there's the placebo. And so if you think that you are receiving medicine, sometimes it actually will work. Like
Yeah.
in with acupuncture, you can, and this is one of those interesting things, you can put needles not in necessarily the points that, are quote unquote for the thing that you're supposed to be treating, but the body is going to do what it needs to with the information. And so just thinking about, so his whole premise is like you have to make the placebo what you want it to be. Like you have to tell your body, which goes right into like, neural plasticity and how we can retrain our body to believe things, do things. So like what are all the belief systems you have around being disabled? What are all the belief systems you have around being not lovable? What are all the belief systems about, you have to be X, Y, or Z? And then it's basically imagining with like every single cell of your body, imagining what you want it to be. Um, so I've been doing this, and it's really fun.
So
It's really cool.
cool.
It is. It's really fun to be like, this is my future. And I'm like, I'm like jumping on the bed. And it was really funny because, like, at first, it was really hard at first for me to remember what
Mm,
walking normally or running or bouncing
yeah,
was, like, how you did it, like
yeah.
what you engaged and how it could happen. And then once I was like, oh, right, it's like this, then I was like, ooh, okay, so then I'm going to leap over this and I'm going to do jumping jacks and now I'm going to do a cartwheel and then I'm going to go dancing, like I'm going to cook
Yeah.
dinner and sweep the floor and, jump up on the chair to reach the thing, you know, and all of these things. And I pictured just normal life and what I, what I will be doing. And it's amazing to see it and to feel it physically. Like there's a part of me that after doing it, I'm like, wait, can I get up right now? And that
Oh,
happens, and
I
it's
love.
like,
Yeah.
no, not yet. But like to actually feel it in my body, it is really fantastic. The second part, oh yeah. So then yesterday while I was doing this, it then started like I wasn't just picturing myself. It was like my body then like went into space. Um
Okay.
yeah, and then
Purposefully or
I no unintentionally I was just all of a sudden in space floating and then my body separated in all of its layers. It was like I was different parts of my so it was like my skin layer, my skeletal layer, my muscle layer, my, organ layer. Like it was wild.
whoa.
It was wild. And yeah. And
So
so
this
I
is
of course am
all
like,
in meditation.
this is all in meditation. And so then I of course am like, well, what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to, so like I'm asking my guides and I'm like, ooh, am I what? And they were like, knock it off. They're like, you're not supposed to do anything. Like this is happening.
Just yeah,
Just
chill.
allow. It's this is just part of this. And that felt amazing and um
Love that. That's
and really
so
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was really,
How
I
is
was just like, wow, okay.
yeah. Okay, so how is this different, like utilizing what you're learning in this book? How is it different from the meditations that you were doing previously on the same subject? Like we know that you've been
Hmm.
doing like
I've been doing
opening
energy work on
meditations.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
How is it
I'm not.
different? This is this more manifesting and that's more energy work?
Hmm. Like in when I'm doing energy work on myself, and I do think I need to be doing both. Is the manifesting and the energy work. Um, is scheduling. I have to schedule. Um, but I mean, the doing is so different. Like when giving energy work, it's very intentional, and I'm using a system, and I'm working with that source point system.
Mhm.
But with the Joe Dispenza manifestation work, it's it's like a it's like having memories of what I want my future to be. So I'm picturing, like I'm picturing waking up in the morning and what that feels like to like throw my legs over the side of the bed with total
Mhm.
ease and just get up
Mhm.
and stretch really big, and then, you know, go over to the bathroom and pee easily without having to get out of a chair, and, you know, and then, you know, to run into the kitchen and make my Nespresso and etc. It's like, so I'm picturing all of this with great and deep intention, like to the point where it feels like a real thing.
Love it. I
Yeah,
can't
me
wait to
too.
hear how it unfolds. But listening to you talk about it is a little bit mesmerizing. I'm kind of, I don't know. I was kind of like feeling it, you know, like I
Hmm.
was
I've just hypnotized
enraptured.
you into my body
I think you
of the
did. I
future.
think you did. Also, I think I want to get hypnotized because that seems fun.
It's amazing. Have we talked about
Have you ever
hypnotherapy?
done it?
Oh my God, I used to do it constantly. I have the most
Oh,
amazing
like,
hypnotherapist. Um,
okay, you need to name drop your hypnotherapist
yes.
and
I was actually thinking we
your
should have her on as a guest.
fuck yeah.
Um,
Can she hypnotize me on the show?
yeah, I bet she could. She's incredible. Her name is Sheila Swenson.
Okay, Sheila
And
Swinson. Let's do it. Well, at least I
mhm,
want to book an appointment with her and then we can interview her. But also I want you to give the name of your trainer. We can put it in the show notes too if we want.
okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
Cool. Um
Mhm.
so okay, that's amazing. I'm really zoned out and drooling now. But okay, here's another thing. Like just to bring it back to the productivity thing, like yeah, sure. Compartmentalize your work days because you are a badass person that owns multiple businesses. But also, I have complete mobility.
Mhm.
Running downstairs to make tea is and then continue with what I'm doing is something that doesn't take like half an hour of my day, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, that is one of those things. Like when we got I booked our ticket so that we got to Seattle pretty early so that we could actually check it out.
Yeah, cool.
And we spent instead 5 hours going from hotel to hotel because the first hotel that we booked, the accessibility room was totally inaccessible.
Cool.
And so we,
Cool.
yeah. And so then the second hotel we booked, which was a fucking Hilton. totally inaccessible, which I couldn't believe.
Hilton, send us
So,
money.
or just put fucking disability bars up next to your toilet. That's all. That's actually all you need to do for me. And then, so finally, we found, so then finally, we found one. But,
Sheesh.
it, it, it was exhausting and it sucked to like have to tell people, like, no, this is why you have to refund my money, all
Yeah,
of it.
because
But,
I can't go potty here.
yeah, seriously, it's crazy. So that was exhausting and really frustrating. Um, and yeah, that took a fucking, half the day.
Yep.
Lame.
Yep. Okay,
Lame.
so I have some buddies that I met on my that retreat who I just love, and I have this little group chat, and I was talking to or this one of the women. Everyone's like having an awakening, and just like they're I don't even want to call it a spiritual awakening. I'm just gonna say like everybody's kind of figuring out they're magical,
Mhm.
and we can see stuff, and in meditation crazy things can happen.
Yeah.
So she decided for I think the first time to meditate in an unguided way,
Mm.
which I highly recommend if you don't do it. um I think she just played some music, and she had this insane meditation where she was 100% astral traveling, because now I'm an expert. um where she visited her childhood home. She said, "Oh, I forgot we had this like pink furniture." She went and looked for herself. She found herself at 5 hiding in a closet in her room, and she interacted with that child herself. And she looked into the room, and the kid was afraid. She looked around the room and she saw a shadow at the end of the bed. And then only then did she recall, "Oh, every night when I was a kid, I slept with the light on. I was afraid to go to sleep. I was afraid to go to school. I used to have these vivid, horrifying dreams almost every night." And she's starting to process, like, "Oh man, I was really psychic when I was a kid too. I just kind of put it away." So she's like basically afraid all the time because she's experiencing all of these entities. And in the dream, this almost makes me cry, but she says to herself,
In the meditation?
"It's okay." What's that?
In the meditation, you just said in the dream.
Oh yeah, sorry. In the meditation, it was such an astral travel that it's hard to even say. In the meditation, she says in a reassuring way to her little girl self, "We have powers now. We understand that we can do things. So let's get rid of this." She's like, "I'm putting a protective bubble around us, and we're going to get rid of this shadow." And so she tried it and it didn't work. And she was like, "Oh, shoot." And then she was kind of nervous because she's like, "Oh, I'm trying to help my child self." Like, and so she calls in a guide, and they were able to get rid of it. But it brought back all of these memories that she had just put away. And the whole point in me telling you this story is because what it reminded me of was the fact that time is not linear. It's a man-made thing. And I really do think that inner child work is amazing and effective because you are helping yourself now when you help yourself, quote unquote, then. she was doing healing work for her immediate life because her life right now is happening at the same time as it as her 5-year-old life.
Mhm.
And it was just super cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of fucked up because we want to like we want to take what we know about our past to help us heal, to help the way that we react to things and the way that we see things and the way things hurt us. Like we want to use those as tools. It's just kind of like time is, if we eliminate time, our whole existence is happening all at once, right?
Mhm.
So in a way, like bringing in the energy of like thinking about all of the things that happened in the past. um I don't know, I don't want to talk out of both sides of my mouth because I'm at once trying to say like
I think I think I understand
those
what you're
things
saying, which is
those things don't matter, but also, yeah, go back and heal your inner child because it'll heal you now.
right. That's the thing. It's like this is when we see, like, when we can experience time overlapping itself and touching in. It's like she is going back to a time. I mean, it's like
Well, she's visiting her
this is
5-year-old self,
she's right.
and I'm not even you can't even say she's changing the trajectory of her life, but essentially it's like a ripple because everything's happening at once.
Mhm.
Like she telling her 5-year-old self, like acknowledging that she's having these experiences and helping her get rid of this thing. And at the end of the story, she's sitting by her side and she's sleeping soundly and in like complete comfort,
Mhm.
and she gets to witness that. um but in that way, it's not about like dwelling on things that damaged you or scared you in your childhood. It's about
Empowering.
healing your life as a whole.
Yes, right. That's it. It's about the entire thing. Like, these things did happen. Our past did happen and they affected us. But when we can meditate, visit, and touch in on that, I do think it really, I think that what it can do is alter how we experience it now.
Hmm.
It stops
Yeah.
being as much of a trauma. And if it's not as much of a trauma, it means there's more space. It means that there isn't a wall.
Hmm. But it's also like, okay, even the language that we have to deal with this is all like linear
Mm-hmm.
and time based because that we're human. But it's like the past is, the present is, and the future is.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like if we start to see things like that, it eliminates the
Mm-hmm.
confusion or like
Mm-hmm.
any uncertainty about how healing that situation is just for
Mm-hmm.
your life.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
she's a
that's pretty dope.
badass. She's always
That's
blowing my
awesome.
mind with the stuff that she's experiencing. And she like called in her guide by name, and I'm like, damn, that's awesome.
George, George, get in here.
Yeah. But yeah, that's because I finally finished The Power of Now, and that's, you know, I'm sure I'll friggin' read it again. But it is very funny to always be you always do have to remind yourself if you're gonna remotely attempt to practice it. It's like you need constant reminders that the only thing that you have is that the only thing that you have ever had is right this second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I try not getting too frustrated or pissed off about it because it's the only second you have right now.
Yeah, true that. Oh, also,
How's that?
I got him.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No. Yeah.
No, what were you gonna say? Yeah, I got mine
I
written
was gonna
down.
ask
So,
you how your coffee was.
oh, the coffee was delicious. Thank you. Why did I go to your house this morning? Oh, I stopped at your house to drop off a microphone hat.
Yeah, it's really cute.
You were almost gonna tap it. Yeah.
I
So
did.
we have matching mic hats now. Hopefully our sound is improved. Bless us. God bless us, everyone. And so Claire answers her door. I was gonna just drop and run the mic hat. Claire answers her door with scissors in her mouth. And I'm like, okay, message received. I will clearly be trimming your bangs.
Mm-hmm.
That was fucking hilarious. Um, and then I borrowed a pod for my Nespresso machine that I've banned myself from. And it was freaking great. Um, oh, one thing I wanted to tell the super smellers something. Um, my partner Sheba got me a gift for my birthday that is perfume that is has zero synthetic fragrance. So it's just a blend of essential oils, but this company is called Kindred Black. We'll put it in the notes. And if anyone can't tolerate perfume but loves the idea of freaking wearing one, um, this is a an awesome option. And the vessels that their products come in are insane. Just
This is cool.
beautiful little glass vials. Kindred Black, if you're listening, please send us samples. We can talk about it more to the psychics. They're clearly your target audience. But anyway, for the super smellers, that's your hot tip of the day. Kindred Black. Check it out. There's not even alcohol in it, so it doesn't it's not gonna it doesn't really linger, but it's just right. So enjoy. Um okay, I got to talk about another thing that's pretty rad. I have something shocking to say. Are you ready? Okay. This is crazy, but I am reading a book. That's it. That is not a business book and not a spiritual book. That's all. Like, what's going on? So it
Is it a Stephen King book?
no. Um, it's a nonfiction by someone called Ed Yong, and it's called An Immense World: How Animal Senses Reveal the Hidden Realms Around Us. A stunning achievement steeped in science but suffused in magic. With magic.
Wow.
Um, Look at the beautiful cover. It's
Mm-hmm. It's
covered with like a
beautiful.
spiral of
Shiny.
beautiful animals. Um,
Shiny.
it says bestseller on it, but I don't know where it's a bestseller. Just in
At
general,
his house.
just in general, but it is so
Mm-hmm.
wonderful and intriguing. I spent a whole evening reading about dog noses. And it is one like changed the relationship I have with my dog because walks, I will never disrupt her smelling because that is such an important sense and experience for them. And you know how they have like nostril holes and then those slits on the side? They
Mm-hmm.
can breathe, they can inhale continuously for up to 40 seconds because the exhale is blasting out the side slits. And it's like this crazy form of like circular breathing where they're constantly experiencing smells.
That's amazing.
Isn't it incredible? And then I learned
Yeah.
also a freakish amount about ants, and they are basically
Oh man,
like
wild
like
creatures.
I was testing the kids last night. I was like, "How do you think ants communicate?" And Sai actually was like, "Their sense of smell." I was like, "All right, well, you're a genius." And then I was like, "Well, where do you think they smell from?" And he said, "Their noses." And I said, "No, their antenna." But that whole situation with ants and their antenna is
Bonkers.
amazing. But one
I
thing,
want to read this book.
it's really fun. I mean, like it's just very sciency, but also cool because it scientifically talks about, you know, um magnetic fields and energy force fields and the reality that there
They
are
exist.
what
That they
that they
exist.
exist, but the reality that there are senses and perceptions far beyond what,
Hmm.
like, of course, you and I believe we have access to senses that aren't commonly presented in the five, um, which also in itself is a load of shit because humans actually have so many other senses. And this is the one thing I wanted to share that I was completely unaware of is there's a sense called proprioception. It's the body awareness sense, and it tells us where our body
Oh,
parts.
no kidding.
It tells us where our body parts are without having to look for them. This helps to know where body parts are relative to each other, which strengthens our coordination skills. It also tells us how much force to use when we're holding, pushing, pulling, or lifting objects. Like,
Hmm.
how are we not teaching that to people? Like, or are we really still teaching children that we just have sight, touch, smell, taste, and hearing?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Suki.
Mm-hmm. But I really do believe that it should be like children should be learning about these senses and quote unquote, extrasensory perceptions.
Yeah, when I'm with the camera, I meet a lot of parents and their kids, and it'll come up, randomly of, that their kid talks about their past life or something. We'll like be like, well, before I was with you, I was with, you know,
My real mom says,
and right, and um, it's so it's so cool to hear that a lot of parents like foster it and like kind of help they support it as opposed to being like imaginary bullshit friend,
"Yep,
but being like, what were they wearing, what was the place like, what was the weather like,
ugh,
do you remember,
that's so
you know
lucky."
mm, yeah, yeah, I yeah, I think about how many of us have probably always been very sensitive and empathic, and that nobody taught us how to navigate that. And so we shut it down and created walls, and or just gave all of ourselves, like all of our energy away because that's what felt natural. But it's like, and it also, being so empathic when you're young can lead to serious anxiety because that's how it can feel. When you go into a room with, a ton of people and they're all jibber jabbering and you're feeling all of that, you just think you're having a panic attack.
Yep.
But it's like, no, you're feeling all of their shit
Yeah. You could just benefit from learning to create a, you know, friggin'
of
vortex
grounding the
around you.
boundary. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I would venture that all of the people listening are pretty much just in a place where they're advocating to regain the skills that they were born with.
Mm, yeah, exactly.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure.
It's just like culturally, it was forced to disappear.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think
Yeah, it
like
wasn't
to
okay.
a degree, the kids that are coming in now with these like insane abilities, being born to parents that aren't afraid to foster that, is just a part of what's necessary for our evolution.
Most of these parents that I've talked to, they're not, or like they aren't necessarily super tapped in, but they acknowledge that their kid being tapped in is real
Yeah.
and that we all probably have it. So it's cool. I like it. It makes me happy.
Yeah, that is so cool.
And I mean, like, yeah,
I was
go
going to
ahead.
say, do you think part of why you like traveling with the camera is because you can make an impact on more people?
Yes. I, it, 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 taking people's aura photos and then telling them about the meaning. It's so incredible to watch people's faces when they feel seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know these people,
Yeah.
but everyone wants to feel seen.
True that.
And it's it's awesome. And it makes people feel so much better about themselves. That like there's shit that you're doing and going through, it's awesome and it's correct.
Yeah. Um,
It's where you are
Give us
and it's
some
beautiful.
dates. Do you have off the top of your head? Do you have
Oh,
where you're going to be and when dates
um, yeah.
so the
Okay,
psychics can
pause.
visit you? I was going to use this as like a guise to get you to finally read my aura photo, but I guess we're going to run out of time. Thanks, Claire. I'll never be
Yep.
seen.
Well, there's nothing.
Okay, I can see myself.
Nope.
I can see my way
Okay.
out.
So when do you think this one's gonna actually be out?
We're
It
on a
won't
2 week
be
delay, so this will be aired next Tuesday or the Tuesday after, like
after next.
so the 3rd of
So it'll
October.
be the 3rd of October. Okay. Well, the first weekend of October, we have
The 7th or the
two, yeah, the 7th and the 8th, we have events in Milwaukee,
Okay.
Wisconsin.
Okay, Wisconsiners, I know you're listening because I can see it in the
And we have
stats.
an event.
So there's an
And we have an event in Chicago.
okay, so where are
We're double
those?
double booking.
Where can people find out where they are?
Um um on Instagram. Or yeah, on my link tree. I post all of our events.
Are
Um,
you gonna say what your
then we have
Instagram is?
it is, yes. Oh, that part. Okay. My Instagram, which is at aura underscore iris underscore aura underscore iris. So aura iris.
Okay. Redundant, redundant.
And redundant, but cute. Um, and then there's Chicago, we have a bunch of October Chicago events. My favorite one that we do every year is at the Empty Bottle, and this is going to be on the 29th of, of October. Yeah, it's on October 28th. And it is an event called Waking the Witch. And it is a great dance party and Halloween party. And all of the proceeds from the bottle and part of the proceeds from us um, go to a pro abortion group here in Chicago that helps women from Chicago, but also surrounding states that are anti choice take care of themselves,
Cool.
which is dope. That's my favorite. And that's coming up. And then in November, we're going to be in San Francisco,
Never heard of it.
Seattle, and LA. Oh, wait. No, that's LA. San Francisco and LA. And then in December, we go back to Seattle.
Okay, everybody.
It's wild times.
Check out Aura Iris, Aura Iris, Iris Aura, Iris Aura.
No,
Which
it's
one is
Aura
it?
Iris, Aura Iris. Aura Iris,
Okay,
Aura Iris.
check out Aura Iris, Aura Iris. And go meet
Also, I'd like to let
Claire.
everyone know that my name isn't Iris. It is the goddess of the rainbow. But I have a lot of people writing me emails being like, "Hi, Iris." I'm like, "That would be weird."
Cute.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine me an Iris?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. You could be whatever. I like it. But you'll always be my Clarence.
You're... Yeah, that's me. All right, my love.
Oh wait, one more thing for the super smellers. I just can't stop. I'm doing
Oh yeah.
a short run of completely scent-free hair cream. So if you're even more sensitive than myself and you can't even handle essential oils, this one's for you. All the luxurious
Oh,
magic of the
dope.
hair cream with zero smells. You're welcome.
How do they get their hands on this remarkable product?
How do they get their heads on it? Well, I haven't launched it yet, but you can always find updates at on Instagram or TikTok at Sparrow for Everyone. All words spelled out. But I'm stoked about that one. And then, of course, I've got
When does that?
other products in the works, but it'll be nice to have a smell-free baby for all the extra
Yeah, when is
sensitives.
it going to be ready?
Um, Undetermined, Claire. It should be selling within the next. I'll just be
Before the
I'll just be
holidays?
super conservative and say, yeah, before it should be selling before the holidays. Can't wait. That should do it. We
Okay.
covered a lot of material today, my friend.
Oh, fuck yeah, we did. We are super awesome. Also, everyone, you guys, Suki totally started our Instagram page and our TikTok page. This is what I'm talking about, man. She's got two tiny humans that she has to raise, and they're boys.
Ew.
And she has a husband, and she has multiple businesses, and she built our social media shiznit. And it's just the best.
Well, you're the best.
So
Thank you for
you
saying
guys
that.
should follow that for us.
Yeah, follow
Mm-hmm.
Getting Psychic on Instagram and TikTok. Why not? Spread the word.
Yeah.
Thanks for the support.
Um,
Y'all are cool.
totes, totes, totes. And tell us your stories. I would love to have
More
more
stories.
stories of more stories of the humans that are, experiencing the cool stuff
I know
or,
it's very fun.
and just want to share it. It is. It's so fun. Um, and yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Okay. Signing off. You're the best.
Bye, Sophie.
Bye.
Stop.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as we did. Be sure to subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcasts so that you never miss a new episode. If you liked today's episode, please consider leaving a review to help the other psychics find their way here.